So in making my comments, first of all, I'd like to pick up the phrase, the geopolitical landscape. Actually, do you have a formed one? If we have, is it a clearer one? In present day's world, the national, regional, and global geopolitical landscape is so complexly and intricately overlapping and also mutually inclusive, so it's better to look at it as a related geopolitical landscape. I think this conceptual shift will enable us to look into the security dynamics more precisely. When you talk about geopolitics, I think in present day's world, politics is getting prominence over the geography, especially in South Asian region. So that is the point I want to bring into light. If the pursuit of happiness, peace, and freedom is the ultimate goal of life, then it is quite imperative to understand that the peace and freedom, they breed in a safe and security environment only. So here comes the importance of national security. As told by the esteemed panelists, the national security nowadays encompasses a wide range of issues. It does not only mean the military defense, intelligence gathering, or cyber warfare. It also means economic security, political security, environmental security. It also relates to public safety. It also relates to securing the critical infrastructure, so and so forth. If you look at today's world, what we can see that the world is beset with conflicts. As of today, according to the ICRC, there are 120 conflicts in and around the world. I prefer to term them as conflicts. So mention what they is Russia-Ukraine conflict, then Hamas-Israel conflict, Iran-Israel conflict, even Houthi-Israel conflict, Thailand-Cambodia conflict, Pakistan-Afghanistan conflict, Pakistan-India conflict, so and so forth. So what do we really call them? Do we call them war? That is my question. I'd ask this question to all, wherever I go. The answer is between yes and no. Because there is no formal declaration of war. At the same time, as the Western military experts, they are talking about fifth generation, sixth generation warfare. Eventually, we are in war always, because the information line of operation is always on. So I would like to term them as conflicts, but functionally some of them are war, of course. And these conflicts are tremendously influenced by information and the space technologies that we need to understand. Majority of these conflicts are also fought by the state and non-state actors. And misinformation, disinformation, information, as propounded by some of the speakers, are the important features of these conflicts. Now let's come gradually. If we see the strategic competition among the great powers in the Indo-Pacific region and in the Indian Ocean region as well, and in South Asia also. And when there is a strategic competition like this, Bangladesh is not immune to the challenges of this competition. Now, with China establishing a geopolitical centrality in Asia, trying to voice its presence at regional and global stage. On the other side, United States and its alliance are also making maneuvers through Indo-Pacific endeavors, then Indo-Pacific strategy. So there is a policy of containment everywhere. The problem is where we are going to join. At this point of time, as I highlighted, we are trying to be an observer, and then in future, maybe based on the policy of our convenience, we try to bring more clarity as to how to interact with the China bloc, China influence bloc. I just refer to the example of my just recent visits in the Chief of Defense Conference. I saw there are representatives from 30 countries, and when I went to Beijing, I see China could manage representatives from over 100 countries. So that is how this competition is going on. I'd also like to bring a point about the role of ASEAN. I find ASEAN little unwilling to engage in South Asian affairs, especially relating to Bangladesh's problem and the ineffectiveness of the SARC, the BIMSTEC, IORA, not being able to produce any viable and meaningful output relating to Bangladesh. These are the disheartening factors for us. So we have to navigate these challenges with prudence and vision and balance our national interest as told by the moderator while contributing to the regional peace. I want to bring into your notice another important development, that is the emerging technologies. In the recent conflicts, as I said, we see that the use of drone technologies, then also the low-cost technologies. We have also seen the use of civilian equipment integrated into the war. We have seen tremendous use of information warfare, the cyber warfare, use of private enterprises in the war like Starlinks, use of private defense contractors. So these are new dimensions of the conflict which is going to affect us in the future. Why I'm mentioning this? Because these developments are going to shape up our strategic thinking in the days to come and while formulating and dealing with our national security strategy. In the process, we have also seen the smaller and weak forces, how they hold their ground against the superior forces. In Gaza conflict, we have seen, and use of drone technology we have seen in Azerbaijan and in Armenia conflict. So there are lessons to take from there. These are not abstract lessons. These are related with our strategic thinking and preparation. And as I told, misinformation, information, disinformation are the features of today's conflict. But to guard against those, as was asked by some of the attendees, how can I really confront this misinformation and disinformation? So it requires tremendous development of technology, including the space technologies, in which we should embark upon. Now let's come to Bangladesh. Now, you all know that Bangladesh is located between South Asia and Southeast Asia. This is a country also surrounded by the countries of different faith. So that is also an important matter. We have tough neighborhoods, both the big and the small ones, with whom we have to deal in the days to come on equal footing. Many times, many of the security analysts or geopolitical analysts, they say that our location is strategically very important, but this location can quickly transform from being an asset to a liability if we cannot navigate through this landscape based on our national interest and prudence. About our neighbor India and Pakistan, we have seen how two nuclear armed states can quickly engage into conflict. We have seen the role of indigenous industries. We have also seen a little bit about the competition between Western technology and Chinese technology. We have also seen the use of non-military pacts to create pressure on the opponent. So these are significant development, I think, related to our national security imperatives in the days to come. Now, Myanmar. I think Myanmar has posed the greatest problem for us since our independence. And as I told, that the situation is getting complicated day by day. While our objectives solely remains to send them back, but the development inside Myanmar, I think their internal conflict is going in the middle of nowhere. It's not going anywhere. Recent development by the Arakan army, where they are in control of most of Arakan. They're also patronizing, they're living on drug money, you know. It has increased drug trafficking, arms smuggling. They're also abducting our fishermen from the southeastern side, threatening our maritime security, and affecting the lives of the coastal people. The proceedings by ARSA and RS is not also like by Arakan, and the reduction of aid has also complicated the situation further. I can tell you, among the three groups, if I consider three stakeholders in Myanmar, this NUG, National Unity Government, Military Junta, and the Arakan Army, then among these three, the Arakan Army, they hate the Rohingyas the most. So we have to think deeply when we are formulating our national strategy, security strategy. We have to engage our partners to find a durable solution, and at the same time, also looking at our national interest, not forgetting our national interest. We have also non-traditional threats. Recently it has come up, you see, affecting our national security. I told that the external and internal threats are just like Siamese twin nowadays in your national security domain. So Chattogram Hill Tracks, there are some new armed groups. And then recent incident at Khagrachuri, you have seen how quickly a communal riot may occur. And we also suspect a transborder influence in it, and we have to deal with it with prudence and also a future plan. There are other security issues also. I think these are adequately covered by the panel. Rising sea level, salinity intrusion, those also pose threat to our national security. Excellencies, colleagues, and guests, Bangladesh has always sought peace and development and stability on the foundation of its development. But peace, as I want to say, that this is not automatic. The peace does not come naturally. So for that, we need effort, we need dialogue, we need preparedness, and above all, the unity of purpose. I want to say one very important thing, the important part of my lecture. I think in the days to come, we want to we should bring more clarity in our national security strategy, in our foreign policy, and also in our military diplomacy and partnership building. I guess we should move towards a more specific and definite axis of cooperation. We can follow the essence of the famous Chinese proverb popularized by Deng Xiaoping. He says, build your strength and bide your time. So you can do that first intangibly and then tangibly. For national security, also at times there's a requirement of making a compromise while we balance the security and development requirements. As was highlighted by General Fazlul Elahi Akbar, that we are a country with kind of GDP and per capita income. There are countries who have less GDP and per capita income, but way ahead in national security apparatus than that of us. In my layman calculation, I think they are ahead of us by 25 to 30 years. So if they can, why can't they? The money is not the problem. So there is a need for a strong political will, which I am emphasizing in today's seminar. I also strongly subscribe the idea of civilian governance and control over the civilian and military bureaucracy. It is very important for national security strategy and to have a clear national security strategy. August gathering, all these things, this development, it puts immense pressure or demands on our armed forces and the National Institute, and I'm quite sure that Bangladesh Armed Forces, they're quite capable of doing that. In doing so, we must endeavor to strengthen our indigenous defense industries and then start building self-reliance on technologies like AI, robotics, human-machine teaming, space technologies, all these things. Our starting can be humble, but I think it will show us a way for getting to the point where we want to go. Sorry, I'm getting a little bit longer, as I don't get chance always to talk. On behalf, I will end very soon, but before that, on behalf of all ranks of the Armed Forces Division, I'd like to extend my heartfelt appreciation and sincere thanks to the Director General, BIS, for the well-organized seminar. I think this collaboration between AFD and BIS represents the kind of synergy that we need and combines the rigorous academic analysis with the grounded insight from the practitioners like me. I also sincerely thank the esteemed moderator and speakers in fostering academic and strategic discourse, as well as their contribution in the seminar. And together we can generate ideas that can support both national policy and military planning. And I'd like to conclude by saying, let's achieve peace and security, not only through friendship, but let's achieve peace and security through strength by both hard and soft, and partnership building with the partners who are willing to cooperate based on our national interest, patriotism, mutual benefit, and dignity. I want to end here. Thank you.